standard software gives you a kind of advantage. It's like using a universal language in the design world. Now, why industry standards? Okay, yeah, why industry standard software? Now, number one point written down is compatibility. Now, imagine you've created probably a logo in a very niche software that no one else is you make use of. Now, when you try to send this let's say logo in probably in the format in which you used to design, now it becomes very difficult for people to access because they are not familiar with the kind of program you use to run your design. Now, this is not going to be a very fun experience, especially when you want to collaborate with probably persons, even also the client. You know, when you use softwares like Adobe that most person make use of as designers, it makes for easy collaboration. For example, now when we have in my on my brand, we have several graphic designers that work time to time on our designs. Now, to make it easy, we have to send probably the program file, that's the project file, in the format in which, okay, in an Adobe Photoshop format, we send it to the other designers to have access to collaborate so that we could make a sort of partnership and collaboration, which makes it easy. Now, this second point here is features and functionality. I hope I can be heard. If you can hear me, just probably someone should say something.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, functionality. Um, this program that is the Adobe Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator. Are used for professional workflows. They have advanced tools to streamline our design process. For example, now if you have an idea, probably you picture how a design should be like, or you saw it somewhere. Now, I bet you 100% Photoshop gives you that freedom to make anything. There's nothing you see or you see someone do. Probably you are confused on what software the person use and all. I promise you, either you're using Photoshop, also Illustrator, they can deliver. They can allow you to make use of complex effects that you wish to make use of. Compared, okay, it's a kind of debate. When you sometimes if you say the Photoshop users and the Canva users, they kind of banter themselves on their applications and all. But due to my experience, I know for a fact that Photoshop gives you a wide range of options to make in your design, in your creative process compared to Canva. Now, the number 3 points highlighted is it? Yeah, okay. Industry recognition, meaning when you apply for jobs, be it probably any social media you saw a job or LinkedIn and or probably a freelance opportunity. Most times, this recruiter asks for proficiency in these Adobe software tools. It's it's very rare you say when there's a job opportunity and all, you see people saying, okay, if you're proficient in CorelDRAW or Canva, most time, even I think when Metalex called for designers last year, I think they made emphasis on you being proficient in Photoshop and the likes, using Adobe Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator it's a very recognized software in the graphic design, industry. And the point is the support resource. Yeah. Um these programs are so widely used, and there's a vast of community of users, countless tutorials, um resources available online. Now, if you run into a problem and you can easily find a solution, you know you are trying to achieve or execute an effect, wherever you saw the effect from and you want. due to the fact that a lot of person make use of this software. Rather than using softwares people don't really make use of. So you have the option of different countless resource and even tutorial like yesterday. And the video sent to us yesterday could be find the YouTube, and also different persons who put out video content to also help in the community. Yeah. So using industry standard design software gives you support and resource to make use of. Now, the fifth point here is regular updates. Yeah, yes, like we said on, it was on Saturday, we were talking about different versions of Photoshop. Now, the kind of tools that we have in the current Photoshop version, maybe the 2023, yeah, would might be slightly different from what is attainable in the. It's largely the same, but there's some updates that would have been put, and these programs have constant updates, like new features and improvements, keeping up with cutting edge design technology. You know, I remember when I was younger and I was using Photoshop, I think I was given I think it was a kind of a task in my junior secondary school on design, and I remember trying to cut an image. I think someone in that image, you're trying to cut the person from the image. You have to use to those of us familiar with the Adobe Photoshop, you have to use the pen tool to, with ease start putting the points and how you cut it. But now with just a click, you could take out a background of an image. This shows how this software keeps room for regular update, like improving their features and all. Now, learning these programs is like learning like how to drive a professional race car, and instead of a regular kind of car. Both will get you to point A or to point B, but the race car gives you the tools and capability to perform at a much higher level. Now I'm using this analogy to, in comparison with other softwares out there, yes, they might get you to the point, the execution you want, but Photoshop, the more standard design software gives you a more better tool and capability to perform at higher level. Um, I hope I can be heard and you guys are following. I need someone to say something before I continue. Okay, nobody's saying anything. I'm just hearing someone's background noise. Can I be heard? I need someone to respond to me.
Yes, yes.
Yes, you can.
All right, thank you. Now, remember that mastering these programs takes time and practice. And I think when I was starting up with Photoshop, it looked so convenient. I had a friend who was very fast in Photoshop, and when I see him design, it looks so overwhelming. Now, the key is just to be persistent, explore the tools, take advantage of the resources available to you. So I hope we all have our software ready, because we're going to be exploring the software interface and probably go through the similarities and differences of them. Okay. Mm, okay, so this is the interface of the Adobe Photoshop. Okay, I was speaking about how they are quite similar. They okay, let's go to the InDesign. It's almost the same kind of interface. This is the Photoshop, this is the InDesign. This is the welcome page. The same way you have the welcome page here. I don't know if you have our laptops in front of us or so we follow. I'm very sure yours won't feel like this because you've not made use of it. That's referring to people who are still new to this software. I know. I think I should I'll open the Illustrator later on. I have only just the InDesign and Photoshop. So let's dive into the interface. So you have your welcome page. You have the okay. Let me go to the differences first. Now the Photoshop, making reference to I think someone was asking on Monday on the differences. I told the person we're going to address it today. So in Photoshop gives you um, a very fast tool on manipulating pictures. Yeah, you have a range of options on how to manipulate. Yes, you can use it for flyers. Yeah, like most persons use Photoshop for flyers. Why the Illustrator, you mostly make use it for probably drawings, like if you want to probably draw a cartoon or what's the word, animation. Yes, you can use it to create logos. They call the works done on Illustrator vector images. Now a vector can be scaled to a very large size and the quality will not drop. For example, now if you are trying to, for example, on your phone, now when you are trying to zoom in into a picture, you see the pixels already showing, like the quality drops. Why when you create a shape or an element in Illustrator, no matter how you scale it, it does not lose its quality. That's why they're referred to as vectors. That's what vector means. Vector um images alone. Now the InDesign, yeah, okay, let me open this file for reference sake. Okay, now the InDesign can be used comfortably for magazines, newsletters, probably newspaper too, even books. It's very more comfortable when you use InDesign to make magazines rather than using Photoshop. Now this is a magazine layout. Now, these are the pages. You can see. Okay, let me open up the Photoshop. Uh,
No, I cannot play.
Sorry, could you mute yourself? Okay, so yeah, you could see that the Photoshop and Illustrator, the same. That's what makes it easy, for you to probably combine the two softwares or three softwares when you're working. When you create your logo, like in the case of branding, when you create your logo in, why is this? Okay, so let me continue. So when you create your logo in Illustrator, and probably you want to create a flyer to accompany those, now you can move to Photoshop. It could also give like a kind of, and you won't be alien to them because they're quite similar. The interfaces are quite similar. Even probably the tools might be different. Now, the way you have the move tool is the also way you have the move tool, or you call it selection tool here. You get so back to the actually okay, she has muted herself. Perfect. Okay, I hope we are still following, please. I need the response.
Yes, we are following.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll just probably going through a little bit of difference and similarity. I don't want to like really delve into them because we're also going to um talk about Photoshop more next week, in the week 2. But the video sent yesterday, I know it's mostly focused on Photoshop. That is if we watched it, and I hope we all did. Now, when you want to create a design, you know, designs that you see, probably a flyer or probably a banner, they have their dimensions, their sizes. You get most social media flyer you say is probably 800 by 800 or 1080 by 1080. You get, so when you're just creating, yeah, you have the create new. Hope you can see my mouse. So my arrow, yeah. So you are creating new, and you have varieties of options on the kind of dimensions you want to make use of. So we're going to be using the 1080 by 1080. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to be delving in on this, like the basic tools you should be familiar with, and also um, showing you the same thing, the same tools that you have in Photoshop is also mostly the same you have in InDesign. Now you have the move tool. Let's say we are create. This is a a box. Yeah. Now the move tool gives you the ability, to move an element in the design. You get, that was basically the move tool is. It's like just your mouse in Photoshop that allows you to pick whatever you want to pick. You get, so we're going to go to the InDesign. The design, it is called the selection tool. Yeah, it also gives you the ability to move an element. Yeah, and this also applies to the Illustrator. So it's not opened. It also have the move tool. Yeah. So let's go to, okay. Yeah, we have the shape tool where you have the square. You can also, there are options there where you have the ellipse tool, which is like circle. So to get your perfect circle, you have to press the shift, basically. Yeah, that's for shape tool. And we also have the shape tool here. Yeah. See those where you have the shape tool here. If you want to make an ellipse, yeah, still same way. You make, okay, what other similarities do you have in the Photoshop? Okay, we have the pen tool. Now this pen tool might be might look so advanced, but yeah, let's call it a tool you can use to create anything, like draw something. It's not you have the pencil tool here, but the pen tool can be used for several things. You can use it to create a shape. Yeah, shape. You know, you can say a customized shape that you're trying to look for. Yeah, and also in the InDesign, you also have a pen tool. Okay. You could create. Sorry, I think someone is okay. Yeah, please, if you are following, could you give a thumbs up or something? Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So we have that here too. A custom shape. Okay, so we have the okay, let's say okay, the same way you have the interface where you could pick a color. Okay. Okay, yeah, it is also same way the interface here to pick a color, change it um to yellow, So yeah, those are quite similarities. It's nice that when you open the Adobe InDesign or probably Illustrator, you could even you could find your way around things because they are similar. So when you're learning probably three of them, it won't look so alien. Probably going to an app where you're saying where the tools are in another position and all. Yeah, you can also customize your workspace, but we'll dive into that later. That'll be next week when we really take a look at the application itself. Now, when I was talking about Photoshop having, okay, let me look for an image to open. Okay, yeah. So in this image, Photoshop gives you the ability to play or explore an image, which you won't find in. You might be able to play with an image in Illustrator or InDesign, but Photoshop gives you a whole lot of options. If you can see my screen properly, I'm changing the whole outlook of the image to red, to green, to yellow, to blue. You can't find this in the rest of the softwares. Making it um, okay. Please don't feel overwhelmed. I'm just like showing you a little bit the difference between the softwares because some of us might feel, why is it not coming down and teaching us every step? By the way, we'll look into there's the software. You know, if you want to make it black and white, if it's going to be really dark, I know. Yeah, I was making reference to how you could remove a background of an image with just a click. Now, when I said the pen tool can be used in different ways, creating a custom shape, you can also use it to make selections in the sense that if probably you want to remove this image, you have to zoom in, to take your time to go by it, but you don't have to do that per se anymore. You have you can use undo, that's Control Z. If you're familiar with undo, yeah, you can make use of it. So the way you make an error and you want to like correct it immediately. Yeah. So we're going to try to remove this image and see how well it goes. Now the thing is, me saying you could remove an image with a click, it might not be all perfect when you try to remove a background. So we're going to give it a little bit of time to work its way. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, okay, it did quite well in removing the background, but you could say there's still a little chunk of the background left in it. And you also have the tool to correct it. There are what we call there's the quick selection tool where please, I'm saying this again. I know I'm going a bit too fast. I'm not really supposed to. I'm just showing you the difference between this software. So if you feel that okay, I'm not taking it slow, especially when you're new to this, I'm still going to take my time to allow us to go through. So yeah, this let's yeah. So you could dress it to your preferred choice. Trying to remove every error. Yeah. So if you're trying to remove a background and it does not give you the perfect look you're trying to you're looking for, you can. There's a lot of options or tools to make sure you get what you want. So yeah, that's what um standard. I'm not sure. I doubt you can have this kind of options in Canva where you are. It might be there. I don't know. I'm not so familiar with Canva, but yeah, for sure, I know Photoshop gives you a lot of options in dealing with situations like this. Now, this example I just made on how to remove background, you don't have it in InDesign. You don't have that option to remove an image background with ease the way the Photoshop gives to you. And also the Illustrator does not give you that option to deal with images like that. Like I said, Illustrator, you are seeing probably cartoon characters, like people making drawings, and all. That's where the Illustrator comes into play. Creating logos, icons. You can also do that in the Photoshop. I've seen persons um, create animation using Photoshop, but I bet you the Illustrator makes it way easier than the Photoshop because Photoshop is not particularly built for such things. Okay, so let me open a flyer that was made recently. Okay, let's see this. Okay. Okay, so this is a flyer made for a, let's say, career optimization brand. This image here was cut out from a picture. Same way we had several options here. So these images were cut out using the Photoshop. Now this logo here was made um, using the Illustrator. So from the Illustrator, I moved it down to the Photoshop to create a flyer. And if you could check it, you will see that the quality of it is still there. But whereas if I probably zoom in into an image, the same way I zoomed or scaled the logo up, you see the quality. Let's see if you can um, get it. I think this image is bright. It's good enough. Quality is high. Even if this image is quite clear, but you could see the quality of it. You see the pixels already showing in it. So yeah, the elements made in Illustrator have high quality. That's how normal logo designs are. Yeah. Okay. I forgot to mention the type tool. Yeah, the way you have your type tool in your Microsoft Word, you know, to write anything you want, change um change the color. It's also the same way you have the type tool here. Yeah, allows you to change the color. So similar interface. So same way, yeah, the same way you have the property panels. You know, this is the property. Now when you click on some of these tools in the toolbar, it has its own property. Like, okay, let's say the type tool now, we're making use of the type tool. It comes with its own property where it gives you the option to change its font, what font you want. Is it the DM Sans, the Swansea? Is it bold, italics, irregular, what size? You have paragraph option, centralize it, and all. And also the InDesign tool, when you click on the text tool, it has, so the property panel is, yeah, like I said, yeah, this is my arranged workshop. Probably is quite different from yours, because you could, in this Windows place, you got your workspace. You can, create your workspace and how you want it and save it. Okay, so yeah, back to the property panel. So when you click on a text, see you have, okay, what font are we making use of? Font type, size. This is the space between. There's no. Yeah. So it's also the same way you have this here. It's also the same way you have in the Illustrator tool, the property panel. Okay, some of these tools are just specific to its software. Even if you could use the general sense to navigate through your way. But I see some tools that, okay, you might be alien, like, well, what is this tool used for? Because it's not in other softwares. Like the way you have the crop option here to crop an image. You don't have that option here to crop. Okay, you have the pen tool also here, which you could also get in the Photoshop. Like if you take your time to play with this software, and really understand, you know basically, to keep it in a simple term, Photoshop is for pictures, images, work well with images. While you have the InDesign for magazines, um, books, while the Illustrator for logo creation, for creating icons and animation drawings. That's general sense of it. So when we say get this software, because this is the software that is widely used. If you say a designer out there, like probably someone who's like a proficient designer, you definitely have to have a Photoshop. Now I understand when some people tell you, I can also create flyers in CorelDRAW. I met persons where probably want to like remove an image. You have websites you can use, can remove an image background. So they do that, take it to CorelDRAW and create a flyer you're trying to execute and all. The old Photoshop gives you the option to do that. Take out the background, probably change okay, for example, now, like this image, if I want to just make it all blue, just use a color overlay. Okay. Then you can say she's all blue. It gives you option to play with your image. Make it green, make her yellow. Where's the yellow? Yeah, yellow. Yeah. So yeah, Photoshop gives you that luxury. As far you can, as far you can think it, yeah, you can execute it. That's if you know how to navigate your way. So you can also ask for help. That's where you have your YouTube and all. Please, if you guys are still flowing with me, go do give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, so that's largely the difference and similarity between this um, software. I really don't want to go into the design workflow. I feel that alone should have its own class because of how vast it is. You know, so I think I should. Okay, I think I've been able to give you guys, the similarities between this. The interface are quite, it's really almost the same. If you are vast in Photoshop, it's very easy for you to find your way through Illustrator and InDesign. Even if we are going a stretch further, some of these tools you can also find them in After Effects. The After Effects is used for motion graphics. We also have some of these tools in Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro is mostly used for video editing. So if you're a user of an Adobe software in one platform, you probably know how to navigate your way through the rest of the others. So what I'm saying this is that, okay, probably from next week when we are focusing on Photoshop largely, and probably in your spare time you open up InDesign. But the fact that you're not a little bit familiar with Photoshop, more likely find your way through Illustrator or InDesign. Even with you knowing the differences, you could also, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can't do this using this. This software is more compatible achieving this. It will be weird for you to say you're trying to create a logo using Photoshop. Like I said, it can be done, but it's not comfortable. It's well that you make use of it using creating a logo using the Illustrator. Yeah, so we've gone through the move to showed you the similarity of it in the InDesign. So it's called the selection tool. We have also the text tool, which you also have in the InDesign. We have the pen tool. We have the shape tool. Yeah, another crucial element or an interface in the Photoshop, which is going to be very important. I remember when starting out, layers used to be very confusing. Now, what are layers? Now, okay, see, there's a layer here. See, layers. Let me make it bold enough so you can understand. So yeah, this part or this section, if you can follow my mouse, yeah, it's called layers. Every design on this Canva, yeah, all elements are represented on the layer, starting from, okay, let's say, yeah, this is the background. If you can see my selection here, the background itself is just the Canva which you are designing on. Like the way the artist has its Canva where it paints on. So this is your canvas. I mean, where you work on. So you can see the blue, which is on the background. Yeah, this is the blue. If you go zoom closely, there is a kind of noise effects in the background. This is what you have here. Okay, I think, what is this career copy? Okay, yeah, a little text in the background. Yeah, it's like when you're building something. So like you say the foundation, like when you're building a house, you don't start from the roofing. You have the foundation, lay the blocks and all. So yeah, this is what the layer is. Creating that design you've envisioned, you've thought about. You have to build. Okay, you have the background color, the background texture, and start thinking about the text which is represented here. You have the shape, which is the one used there. You can see my layers is kind of um not well arranged. Most time you say some person, some designer they put the layers because an option is an option for you to put a folder, like probably, okay, my background, whatever I'm using in my background, the texture, I create a folder and put the layers in it and all. But yeah, the point is the layers help you, build well. Okay, for example, now this image is on top of the layer. That's probably the last thing we've put on top. Probably this is the roof, it's very top. So when I carry the picture, image in the layer and take it down, probably to here. Now you could say this yeah, this text now in front of it, because I've taken it back, a bit down, beneath. Get the same way. Okay, let me put it here so you see. Yeah, you can say every other thing is above the image. Whereas if I take it back up, now you have it back on top where it was. So yeah, so the layers is the arrangement of your design elements. If you want to put this on top this, you want to put this on top this. That's what the layer helps you to do. You can also make use of the layer in executing some effects and all, but we'll dive into that, properly later on. So coming so yeah, so you also have the layer panel in the InDesign. You also have it in the Illustrator, but it's not so it's not okay. You can also include it. It does the same thing. Yeah, if you want to put something beneath on top, you understand? But to be frank, yeah, I don't use the layer panel in InDesign. You could do away with it. Like, I don't know when last I've made use of it. It's hidden here because I basically don't use it at all. But in Photoshop, the layers panel is like a very kind of, it's a big deal. You also have it in the Illustrator, but I think it's very very important in the Photoshop. Okay, let's see now. Now we have this pages layout. This is the pages of the magazine. All the pages you have them here. So if you want to arrange the okay, which comes before which page come, you have the option to do that here. What I'm pointing this out is the fact that you don't have such in the Photoshop. So yeah, that is basically the difference between the Photoshop, the Illustrator, and the InDesign. It might be similar, but yeah, different softwares that have its different capabilities. So I think that will be all from this. The utilizing industry standard software. Next one, we'll be talking about design workflow and project development. So if you have any question in regard to what I've said or thought, could you please raise your hand and signify? Does anyone have any question? Okay, I think someone dropped a quote. Can Photoshop be used in designing print materials like funeral? Yeah, those are flyers. Yes, yes. You can make use of Photoshop to create a flyer. I don't know if I have any. Sorry, I don't think I have any projects to show on that. But yeah, you can use the Photoshop to create any kind of flyer, banner. But is there any other question? Okay. I can't see anybody hands being raised. Does that mean that everyone understands and everything I said? Don't we have questions? Okay, I expected Toby to ask a question. Yeah, Toby, you can speak.
Why were you expecting me to ask a question?
You are always asking a question.
This boy, you have caught me today. Oh. This boy. Is it because I got 10 in the other tests? No reason I'm more.
Mr. Toby, ask your question, please.
Okay, that's by the way. Well, actually I don't know anything about Photoshop because I'm a UI UX designer anyway.
Okay.
I'm a UI UX designer, so I don't. What I know very well is Figma, but
Okay.
I don't know anything about Photoshop. So can Photoshop be used to enhance my UI UX design skills? Is it possible?
I think it can. Okay, like Mr. Sylvester said something, I think on Saturday, that it started from basically design as a graphic design before it became a product manager. And the skill he used in his graphic design days is probably what makes it more easier as a product manager. Okay, I have a friend who is a product manager, and how she didn't have prior knowledge of like design. She just started as a UI UX designer and all. I believe yes, you could use Photoshop um to achieve certain things you want to. Okay, I have a little knowledge of UI UX. I was kind of learning it last year and the year before that, but I'm not really taking it so serious. And I know for a fact that okay, the same way you use images in a flyer, the same way you use it when you're trying to create a an home page in a website and all. Probably you have an image that okay, you are trying to get rid of something in that image. Yes, obviously, you can use Photoshop to edit such images. Probably you want to make the image black and white or something, you want to make it all blue. I don't know, probably you could even do that in Figma because I've not been using Figma. Even if I have like just basic knowledge of Figma, but I've not been using it to an extent. So I feel yes, you could use Photoshop code also help, you know, in making your design process easier and all.
Actually, I started my design journey. You know this kind of mobile graphics, this smartphone graphics that you can do on your phone. I started
Okay.
from there. I started from there. Then I was introduced to UI UX design. So from there, that's part of my interest, and I've been dedicating it for over 3 years now. a little bit over 3 years, and that is what I'll be doing. I just needed to just gain the knowledge of those some graphic design knowledge to enhance
Yeah,
my UI UX design skills. So that
yeah,
was why I.
it is needed actually.
All right.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So, okay, my Photoshop does not have all the tools displayed in yours. I downloaded the, yeah, probably, I don't know, I can't, I think you have to send a screenshot or something so like I see. You probably can, you can go to your Windows, like you have the Windows there and you have the workspace. Probably can click on Essential to have some kind of, or just try out some of these workspace option to see if the tools come out like all the tools you have. Just try it, and if that doesn't work, just let me know. Okay, combining all three software in a class is confusing. Can't we just focus on Photoshop software before? Okay, now the point of this class is just like the topic says, industrial standard design software. So it's just like basically just looking at the differences between the three softwares. Like okay, from next week, yeah, we're going to be focusing just on Photoshop. Then the next one just Illustrator. Then the last one just InDesign. I understand you saying okay, moving this software and going. I'm just showing the similarities between the interfaces, nothing more. You get so from next week we focus on just a particular one, which is going to be Photoshop. And I apologize where I felt okay, it was confusing. I know it was because probably you are new to it, so moving around, yeah, it's a lot. But I was just trying to show you the similarities and the differences. Okay, three dots at the bottom of the two panel with small tools. Okay, I think you're probably referring um to Ramat there. Okay.
Sorry to cut in. Please, I didn't get your response to my question.
Okay, yeah, are you with your system like right now?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay, try going to the window.
Okay, I'm there.
Okay, the workspace.
Okay.
Try clicking on essential. Oh, I think you can see reset essential, but not the reset share.
No, I can only see essentials default.
Okay, click on it.
Okay, okay, yes, yes. It's showing now. I can see it.
All right,
Thank you.
no problem. Okay, Abdul Salam says the content created on Photoshop. Why was it not created brick by brick? Understand your concern. How to get images and all. Okay, I think I've said it before. Like this class is not just. We're not just. This is like an introduction to the whole software itself. We're not um, brick by brick creating for now. I'm just like I said earlier, I'm showing the similarities and differences between those three software. It'll get to a point where we'll create a design from fresh. How to, like you said, how to get the images and all. Okay, Metalex Lego says it has a contribution for the UI UX designer. Please, you could speak. Okay, your hands have been raised up. I apologize for not seeing it earlier.
I had to take permission from you. So first of all, I want to say for your good work. You are trying. Me, I'm. I still want to come for your work. I want to. I want to reduce my pay to you. I want to be your competitor. So
Okay, sir.
anyway, so we have a question. I don't know his name. The UI asked.
Yeah,
Sincerely, I
Mr.
don't know how proficient he is with his UI UX, but from our experience so far with product designing, like when we want to build our apps for clients of ourselves, our websites, and the rest, I think the best designs we've ever seen are from product designers like Sylvester. They're also very good with what they call it, Adobe Photoshop and the rest. That way they can make unique designs on the website. So now it's not just about going to copy and paste. If you want to have some unique designs that matches the brand or matches the message you want to pass, want to reflect on your UI UX. Of course, you have to now know how to go to your Adobe Photoshop. So I usually notice from our product designers' work how they go to Photoshop, make these designs, and then they integrate it on their designs, in their product designs. So I feel the best product designers or the best UI UX designers are people that are proficient in, at least, even if you're not an expert, at least you should know how to use Photoshop. And then, of course, the whole rules as to colors and the rest. I don't know if you just jump into UI UX, if you learn all those things. But if you have a background with Photoshop, a background in general graphics design, you do exceptionally well in your product design. So I think you should, regardless of where you are already specialized in now, I feel you should take your foundation in designing seriously. It's going to make you a better designer. A better UI UX designer. So that's my 2 cents to you. So I don't know if I made any sense, but I just said I should ship it in. So it's not like an option, but I feel it is something that could make you a better UI UX designer. So maybe you are doing well with Artito, but I feel if you are good with Photoshop, your designs will become they'll become top notch, they'll become standard, better, and your delivery will become better. So that's what's up. Thank you very much, Shay.
Thank you, sir, for your input. Okay, Mr. Joshua, your hands have been raised for a while. If you could speak.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Sorry, please, could
Can you hear
you
me?
come to your phone? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, so I was going to contribute to what the Mr. Toby said about UI UX and all of that, and the other elder has already spoken concerning um, the integration of these tools to have a better output. That is true in every sense. Um, that is true in every sense. But what I actually wanted to say generally is that while it is good that one is able to know about different tools and find a way to integrate them, for me, as because I'm into UI UX as a person to product design, but I started as a graphic designer too, and for me, it's my quest for continuous learning that has actually that made me register for this, or let me apply to be part of this course. And I think that's like the most important thing. While one is trying to say, okay, let me learn this too, let me learn that too. The very important things are the fundamentals. Once you're able to get a hold of the very basics, it will really go a long way in how you approach designs, whether as a product designer or as anything that you want to do in the design space. So there's that desire to go back to learning from the start, relearning again, understanding these things. So it's good to learn these tools, but it's good to learn the very, very fundamentals that makes these two what they are. So that's just what I would just say.
Thank you, Mr. Joshua, for that contribution. Okay. Okay, what version of Photoshop should we download? Okay, For the version of Photoshop you should download is it depends on your system. Like I said, you could download from 2020 upward. Okay, I can see there's still a lot of confusion on um why I'm using why I'm not taking my time to, you know, be specific on the Photoshop and all and how I am going to other. Yes, I think knowledge answered it, yes. But just learning the software, the similarities, you know, it's like I said, it's an introductory class. From next week, probably even Saturday, so we might be, you know, going into detail, like focusing just on Photoshop. Then when we at least done well with that Photoshop, we can like go to the next software and all. Okay, yeah, Ahmed says a good knowledge of graphics designing makes your UI UX project unique and exceptional. It's an added advantage. Yes, exactly. Okay, so does anyone have any other question? And oh, please be reminded that attendance is compulsory. Yeah, so I can see some people leaving, coming in, leaving, coming in. So okay, does anyone have any other question? You have a question? Okay, Ayomide, you can speak.
All right, thank you. What I wanted to ask is, okay, I think I had last time that meetings are always recorded. Like for the sake of today's class, do we have a place that the recorded meeting can be sent so that we can access it anytime we want? Like today's class, I don't know, but I tried to search the Telegram group also. I couldn't find any any video there or any recorded class there.
Okay, it is the plan that we all have access to the recorded class, and well, I think we'll let you know on that. But yeah, it should be shared and all. But oh, I don't have an exact feedback on why it has not been shared and all. But that will be given to you as soon as possible. Okay, so yeah, so any other questions? Okay, so is there any other question before we can call it a day? Okay, so while I'm still waiting for question, let me see who is on this call. So I'm going to ask a question of mine. Okay. Okay, before I okay, so, okay, Oyoma, please ask your question. Oyoma, can you okay.
Yeah.
So
Good
okay,
evening.
good
Sorry,
evening.
I dropped the message in the in-call message. Good evening. I said I dropped the message.
Okay, I can see your question. You still have difficulties in downloading. I don't understand. Wait, it shows error when? Is it while downloading or after downloading?
Why downloading?
Like like the application does not even download itself.
Yes, like it will just show downloading. Then before you know, they'll tell me there's error with the file. So I don't know. Is there any other means to getting the app, like downloading the app?
There is, There is. I don't know where you stay because
I was
okay, why I
asking if
stay.
to get it installed, maybe at all those plaza or something, because
Yes, yes,
it's
yes. You can. You know, you actually can. I don't know where you stay, but here in Lagos, we have a computer place where you can install software,
I stay in
compressors.
Lagos.
No, sorry.
I said I stay in Lagos.
No, you can get the digs in computer village or somewhere or anywhere you know where they install such packages. So you can get it from there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I can see Blessing saying I'm also having difficulty installing. Whenever I click on administrator, it does not install. Wait, Blessing, could you unmute yourself and speak to me so I can address your issue?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so yesterday I tried, I had issues downloading it earlier, so I watched the video on the
Okay.
some, on the website, and they were directing me on how to do everything. I was able to turn off my antivirus and all of that, but then anytime when I finished the whole process, when I wanted to install it, and they said I should click run as administrator or something like that. Whenever I want to install it, it doesn't work. To just
Pop
I
up.
sent an email though. Yeah, to just show do as if it's loading, then it will clear. And that was what it was doing all over and over again. So I don't know what the issue is. I had to even I had to manage my user control settings. I don't even know what I did, but I just did anything and it didn't still work. It was very frustrating yesterday. Don't know what the issue is.
Yeah, I apologize for that. Did you try downloading? I think you said you downloaded the 2023 version or not.
Yes, yeah. I
Did
don't know
you
if I should download a lower version if it will work.
could you just try that?
Okay, let me try.
Yeah, just try that, please.
All right, thank you.
So you can really tell what the issue is.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, I can. Okay, I installed 2019 version for Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. Yeah, it's fine. I think my InDesign. I don't know what is my InDesign. I think mine is like a 2020 or so. So it is fine. It works. It works fine. Okay, so I think John is pointing out the fact that the version we are downloading is crack, more like pirated, which is not legal. So Windows will automatically delete it and all. Eh, yeah, partially correct though, Sha, but yeah, it is pirated and all. Okay, I can see Bukola time she installed Photoshop successfully, Illustrator, InDesign, and after installing in the app, it's still telling me to subscribe to Creative Cloud. I thought the whole point was probably you didn't download it to the way it was instructed from the site. It's not supposed to tell you to subscribe to Creative Cloud. Probably you just downloaded and just went to installation. You didn't follow the crack process and all. I think if you still have the installation package, try deleting um the app which is installed, like uninstall it and try reinstalling it. Try following the instructions. Yeah, Ayomide, you can speak. Ayomide, can you hear me? Okay,
Oh,
since
oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying the other time that attendance is compulsory, so I couldn't find the link again to sign in. So please, can it be sent again?
Yeah, it will be sent. I think I'm making sure it's sent before the class ends. So most people don't send attendance and just leave immediately. Don't worry, it will be sent. Just exercise a little bit of patience.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah. So Oyoma, your hands are raised. You can speak.
Okay, so somebody was telling me in the in message that um they could actually help me out with the whole installation stuff. So I was just trying to get through to the person.
And you could who offer to help. You could
It was
just
I don't know. Let me check. Let me check his name.
probably
Ahmed.
probably you can try. You can tell the person to reach out to you on your mail or something. I don't know if that is fine by you.
Yeah, but he's not responding. That's the thing. Ahmed. Person is Ahmed.
Ahmed, if you can hear me, please, your attention is needed in the in comments. We'll respond to you. I hope it's there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, it's in the message now. It's saying okay.
All right. Thank you.
That's fine. So who else raised? I think Bukola, your hands were raised. Okay, Save, you're talking about your Photoshop being disabled. Like I said, you probably did not crack it well. Like, because it's not supposed to tell you that. I know, like it's giving like you're using a free version. Yeah, Bukola, you can speak.
Okay, so my Photoshop installed successfully. I followed the steps, even for Illustrator and InDesign. But I don't know.
Mhm.
I turned off my data. I turned off my antivirus. I turned off my Microsoft Windows Defender while installing. I followed the steps, and then after installing Illustrator and InDesign, when I went to the application, that was when I saw that I should start my free trial. I should sign up with Creative Cloud. So
Wait,
I don't.
can you bypass that option and make use of your Photoshop itself?
Sorry.
Can you okay when it tells you to probably subscribe, yeah?
Mm,
Could you like
there's a there's
ignore
an
ignore
option
it?
for there's an option for cancel, but when I cancel, it exits the app.
Exit the app itself. Wow. So
Yes.
wait, so that means you cannot ignore it and make use
If
of
you
the
ignore it, you're leaving.
you're leaving the
Yes, it's only
wow. So wait,
yes, it's only Photoshop that is working.
so that's what year of InDesign did you download?
2023.
Why everybody download this to 23? In fact, even though you download 2018 service, it looks the same thing, just like little the same. I don't know, just to try other versions. Probably I don't
Okay,
know for
so
some reason they're
I
being
should
restricted.
delete it and try again.
Sorry.
Yes.
I feel for the
Okay.
2023 there
Okay.
is the video to download it wasn't, I mean, to install it wasn't attached to
So
what
okay.
was it called. So but if you go through 2022 process, right, you can use the same video to install the 2023 version. It will give you
Result.
the same way out, so the error would not come up anymore. You
Uh,
understand?
uh, well, Olumide, thank you for that. I hope she heard you. I really want okay, yeah, I think she responded to you. Okay. Oyoma Jackson. Okay, you can speak, Oyoma, please. I really want a question based on this class and not the difficulties in installing. Okay, yeah. So the attendance has been sent and all. So does anyone have any question regarding the class? If you don't have, I'm going to ask my own question. Okay, let me look for someone to ask. Okay, Blessing, can you hear me? So could you tell me what Illustrator is used for? Like the Adobe Illustrator. Blessing, can you hear me? Okay, Blessing is not responding. So, Mr. Joshua, could you answer the question? Mr. Joshua, can you hear me? Okay, knowledge, you can speak.
Okay, so you said we could use the Illustrator for operating icons, majorly for drawing, like animations.
Okay, and wait, yeah, correct though. I'm looking for something, another response. You're totally correct. Oyoma, please, I hope you raising your hand to answer my question. You can speak.
No, it's not to answer your question. No. Sorry, I want to know
What
if
else?
the
Don't tell me for the
attendance.
yes, it has been sent.
No, I
Please answer my question. Sorry?
was logged out from the class due to
Okay, it will be resent to you. Just it's sent. It has been sent already.
network.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't find it because I just came back from class.
All right. All right. Yeah, I think it's been posted. Okay.
Thank you.
Why? Okay, so I can see you. I should I'm pronouncing your name right. You can unmute yourself.
All right, please,
Yes,
can you?
I can. Please, could you pronounce?
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, my name is CP. SIPI CP.
CP. Okay.
Yeah, CP. Yeah. Okay, so Illustrator is used for vector graphics. Yeah. For example, logos and to draw. I mean, that's the
The
you could
main,
use it
yeah.
for pictures, or you could also use it to do some certain things like flyers, but majorly it's for vector graphics. Graphics that you can zoom and the quality will not be distorted.
Reduce. Yeah, perfect. Thank you for that. And so I think my next question will be, what application is well suited for images? Probably you want to turn your image to black and white. So what software is well equipped to do that with ease? Who's going to be answering? Bukola, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you heard my question, so give an answer.
Photoshop.
Okay, straightforward. Okay, Photoshop. That's correct. And
Thank-
mention the similarities you can find in Photoshop and you can also find in InDesign.
Um, you can find the text tool.
Okay.
You can find the select
Okay.
tool,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it has a different name in InDesign. I can't remember.
Yeah. You're correct. It's selection tool in InDesign. Why in the Photoshop it's called the Move tool.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that's all. I think let me ask someone else to mention another tool. Blessing, are you still with us? I really want you to answer that question. And it seems Blessing is not here. I don't want to ask Mr. Joshua and Toby if you okay, cheesy. Probably I pronounce it well. You could speak, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening. Can you
Hi,
hear
good
me?
evening.
Okay, so
Yeah, I can
another
hear you.
another difference or two more differences between them is two more similarities. You have paints and shapes in both of them.
Yeah, that's true. You do have that. Thank you. Okay, so I think the question would be what is InDesign widely used for? What is InDesign widely used for? Um, what am I asking? Yeah, Savior. What's InDesign widely used for? Okay, I can see Blessing. Blessing, just hold on. Is he going to talk? Let's Savior respond to me if you can hear me. Savior, can you hear me? Okay, since Savior is not with us. So yeah, so Blessing, you could speak.
Okay, sorry, I'm having a network issue because I'm trying to download the Adobe Photoshop. Um, I feel InDesign is mostly used for creating designs for publications like maybe magazines and all of that, flyers, and
Yeah,
just basically magazine. That's what
yeah,
I feel.
you're very much
Thank
correct.
you.
Yeah. So yeah, that is basically it. Yeah, that's for the differences and the similarity. Yeah, I hope everyone has filled the attendance form. So in our next class, okay, for tomorrow I'm supposed to give a task on which I would brief in later on. So live session class we're going to be having is Friday. It's by the same time, 4 p.m. So we'll be talking about design workflow and project development. How you can do your research, inspiration, ideation, execution. How you get your review and feedback from your clients, and how you can deliver and finalize your work. Okay, so I think that will be all for today. And if you have any issues or kind of question, you could do well to send us a mail. We'll definitely see it. Yeah, don't forget please, the attendance uh, is in the call message. So do well to fill the form and all. So that will be all for today's class. And I hope, and that you guys at least have picked one or two things. Yeah. So thank you and have a wonderful night rest.